Ever feel like your best life is trapped in a 2016 highlight reel? You're not just being sentimental, your brain is actually hijacking your future. Today, we're exposing the dark side of nostalgia and the psychological traps keeping you stuck in the good old days. It's time to stop looking back. Chapter 1. Why your brain is hooked on nostalgia. Does it ever feel like your brain is a broken record playing the same summer of 2016 on loop? You remember the exact song on the radio, the smell of the air, and that specific feeling of freedom. But when you look at your life today, it feels grey. It feels like you are just a ghost haunting your own history. If you are nodding your head, you aren't crazy. You are actually experiencing a very real psychological phenomenon that makes your past look like a masterpiece. The primary reason we get stuck is a sneaky mental glitch called rosy retrospection. Think of it like a built-in Instagram filter for your memories. Your brain is a master editor. It cuts out the boring Tuesdays, the moments of anxiety, and the times you felt lonely back then. It keeps only the highlights. Because of this, you aren't actually missing your past. You are missing a fictional, polished version of it. When you compare your messy, unfiltered present to that perfect filtered past, the present never stands a chance. But why does our mind do this? It's because the past is safe. Even if your past was difficult, it has one thing the future doesn't: certainty. You already know how the story ends. There are no jump scares in a movie you've already seen 1,000 times. The present moment requires you to make choices, and the future requires you to take risks. For many of us, retreating into a memory feels like wrapping ourselves in a warm blanket. We stay there because we are afraid that our best days are behind us. And if we let go of that 2016 version of ourselves, we might not like who is left. This attachment often becomes an anchor for our identity. You might still see yourself as the star athlete, the popular one, or the person who had it all figured out 10 years ago. When you cling to these old titles, you stop growing. You become like a software update that refuses to install. You are trying to run 2026 life on a 2016 operating system, and that is why you feel like you're crashing. The danger of this nostalgia loop is that it creates a rejection of the now. When you spend all your mental energy looking in the rearview mirror, you are guaranteed to crash into what is right in front of you. You miss the new opportunities, the new people, and the small joys of your current life because you are too busy mourning a life that's already gone. We tell ourselves we are just being sentimental, but the truth is often deeper. We are using our memories as a shield to protect us from the discomfort of starting over. Chapter 2. The emotional toll of not moving on. Living in the past isn't just a harmless habit of daydreaming, it acts like an emotional parasite that slowly drains the color out of your current reality. When you refuse to leave a previous version of your life, you aren't just remembering, you are ruminating. There is a massive psychological difference between these two. Reflection is looking back to learn a lesson, but rumination is like walking in a circle until you've dug a hole so deep you can no longer see over the edges. This constant loop creates a heavy emotional toll that most people don't even realize they are carrying until they feel completely burnt out by their own thoughts. One of the most exhausting parts of this cycle is the glory days trap. This happens when you decide that your peak has already happened. Maybe it was when you were in college, or when you had that specific job, or when you were in that one relationship. Once you convince yourself that the best version of you is a person who no longer exists, you stop trying in the present. This leads to a deep sense of resentment toward your current self. You start to treat your present life like a waiting room for a doctor's appointment that will never happen. You stop decorating your apartment, you stop meeting new people, and you stop investing in your health because, in your mind, none of it matters as much as the way it used to be. This emotional stagnation often manifests as a constant low-level anxiety. Because you are so focused on the certainty of the past, the uncertainty of the present feels threatening. Every new challenge feels like an insult to your former self. You might find yourself getting irritated by people who are excited about the future. Or you might feel a strange sense of guilt for enjoying a moment in the now, as if being happy today is a betrayal of the life you lost. This is the weight of unprocessed grief. Many people who live in the past are actually mourning a loss they never gave themselves permission to cry about. The toll is also physical. Living in a state of constant longing keeps your nervous system on edge. You are perpetually dissatisfied, which spikes your stress hormones and leaves you feeling physically depleted. It's hard to have energy for today when you are using all your fuel to power a time machine in your head. You become a spectator in your own life, watching the days pass by through a hazy window of what-ifs and if-onlys. This creates a profound sense of loneliness. If you stay stuck in the past, you never have to face the possibility of failing in the future. You use your old pain or your old glory as a shield. As long as you are the person who lost everything, or the person who used to be famous, you don't have to be the person who tries and fails today. You trade your potential for the safety of a closed book. Breaking this cycle requires more than just positive thinking. It requires you to acknowledge that by holding onto a ghost, you are accidentally killing the person you are becoming. Chapter 3: How to Stop Living in the Past. Breaking the cycle of living in the past requires more than just a desire to change. It requires a deliberate strategy to retrain your brain to value the present. The first step in this process is learning the art of psychological grounding. When you feel your mind drifting toward a memory of 2016 or a better version of yourself, you have to physically and mentally interrupt the signal. You can do this by focusing on your immediate surroundings, the weight of your feet on the floor, the sound of the room, or the sensation of the air. This forces your brain to shift from the abstract, filtered world of memory back into the concrete reality of the now. You are essentially telling your nervous system that you are safe in the present moment and that you don't need to retreat into the past for protection. Another powerful tool is rewriting the narrative of your history. Most people who are stuck are tellers of a one-sided story. It means finding small, immediate projects that require your full attention and effort. When you start building something new, whether it's a skill, a habit, or a relationship, your brain naturally begins to prioritize the information related to that new goal. You start scanning your environment for opportunities instead of scanning your memory for highlights. You are giving yourself a reason to be excited about waking up tomorrow. You also have to practice the difficult task of forgiving your former self. Many people are stuck in the past because they are trying to fix a version of themselves that no longer exists. They replay old arguments or old mistakes, hoping for a different outcome. But you have to accept that you made the best decisions you could with the information you had at the time. The person you were in 2016 didn't have the wisdom you have in 2026. By judging your past self with today's knowledge, you are being an unfair critic. Letting go of the past often starts with an apology to yourself, acknowledging that you've been held hostage by your own judgment for long enough. Finally, you must embrace the discomfort of the new. Moving on feels scary because it's unfamiliar. For a long time, your identity has been wrapped up in who you were. Letting that go feels like losing a limb. But in that empty space where your past used to be, something better can grow. You have to be willing to be a nobody for a little while, someone without a grand history or a tragic backstory, just a person living a normal, quiet life in the present. It is only in this quiet present space that you can finally hear the possibilities of what comes next. The door to your future is right in front of you, but you can't turn the handle if your hands are still full of old photographs.